What was their method of da'wah? Did Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu send a letter to Heraclius asking him permission for the Sahaba to go and distribute leaflets in Damascus and Jerusalem, and we want to present the da'wah to the people? Did he do that? Did the Sahaba radiallahu anhum go and present the da'wah to each and every one of the people in the Roman Empire before they fought them? The answer is no. The da'wah that Rasulullah would give and the Sahaba is da'wah to the leaders of the people. They wouldn't go down to the masses. They would go straight to the leadership. Rasulullah did not send letters to each and every citizen of the Persian Empire and the Roman Empire, or to the Arab tribes. He would go and speak to the leadership. When he spoke to the people of Taif, he went and spoke to their leaders. When he would go and talk to the tribes in Al-Hajj, he would go and speak to the leadership. He wouldn't go to each and every individual asking them to become Muslim. He would go to the leaders and speak to them directly, or he would send them letters. The acceptance of the leader is taken as acceptance of everyone, and the rejection of the leader is taken as rejection of everyone, and therefore war is justified. So when Herakl turned down the invitation of Islam, the Muslims had the right to fight all the people. And they were all targets of the jihad of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. When Kisra tore the letter of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu sent armies to fight, even though the masses of the people did not hear the da'wah of Islam. So also this was the method of the da'wah of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. A third issue. We have this perception, and I'm trying to deal with the misnomers. We have this perception that fighting is a later stage that should only occur after a person has went through JihadAnNafs and preparation. So there's a lot of preparation that needs to take place before somebody can participate in fighting in Sabilillah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was in Medina, when somebody would come to him and accept Islam, he would immediately send them out in the armies. He would not take them into a spiritual training session for months or years until they become ready to participate. Muhayriz, who was a Jew, who was brought up as a Jew, he came to Rasulullah ﷺ on the day of the battle of Uhud, and he said, "O Messenger of Allah, I want to join you." Rasulullah ﷺ said, "Are you a Muslim or not?" He said, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah." He said, "Join the army." He did not pray, he did not fast, he knew nothing about Islam, nothing at all. And he died in the battle of Uhud, and he was counted as a shaheed. Rasulullah ﷺ says, "Muhayriz khairu Yahud." Muhayriz is the best among the Jews. Rasulullah ﷺ did not tell him, "You have to go and have JihadAnNafs for a few years before you join in the army. Jihad al-Akbar, and then you join in the small." These are newly innovated concepts. However, there is an exception to this rule. The original group that represent the foundation of Islam did go through a special preparation time, and that was the Muhajirun from Mecca. Why? Because the religion was just founded. You cannot bring one person with you. It's just Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then Abu Bakr and Zayd ibn Haritha and Khadija radiallahu anha and Ali ibn Abi Talib, and say, "Let's go and fight." I think you can see that this is not something that is possible. So the group that represent the nucleus of the religion of Islam, the foundation of the religion, they did go through a special training session that lasted for 13 years. But after that, when the laws of Sharia were finalized, that's it. The foundation is already there. You don't need to build another foundation. Therefore, with every generation after that, they have to take the final laws of Allah Azza wa Jal. So we cannot tell somebody who just became Muslim, "You have 13 years to drink alcohol, and after that it's going to become haram." Because alcohol was made haram in Mecca over 4 stages. You become Muslim today, you have 13 years to drink, and then after 13 years it's going to become haram on you. Does anybody say that? Do we say you have 13 years until you start fasting because you're a new Muslim, so you're like the people in Mecca and you have 13 years to fast? So how come when it comes to jihad we treat it different than drinking and fasting? And the ayah that prescribed fighting in Quran came in the same format as the ayah prescribing fasting. كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْقِتَالُ. Fasting was prescribed on you, fighting was prescribed on you. So how come whenever somebody becomes a Muslim or somebody practices Islam, we tell them to fast, but when it comes to the fighting fi sabilillah, we deal with it in a different way, a double standard? Where did that come from? That wasn't the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it wasn't the way of Abu Bakr. The recruits that came out from Yemen were new Muslim, and their tarbiyah was in the battleground. See, when we talk about tarbiyah, you have to be ready. We have to take you through a tarbiyah session first. Can you tell me about any school of tarbiyah better than the battleground? What better way of training yourself on patience? What better way in training yourself on sacrifice? What better way in training yourself in tawakkul on Allah Azza wa Jal? What better way in developing spirituality and connection to Allah Azza wa Jal than that? The experience that goes on when people go out fi sabilillah Azza wa Jal is something that cannot be duplicated in any other setting at all. Therefore, all of these so-called tarbiyah programs that people are going to go through are only going to make them more timid than they are. And when you look at, for example, some of the experiences that our brothers and sisters in Palestine are going through, no book can teach them that. No studying under any sheikh can take them to that level. No school can prepare them for that. It is their experiences. You know, they made an interview with the wife of Abdulaziz al-Rantisi. Abdulaziz al-Rantisi is one of the leaders of Hamas. There was an assassination attempt on him in the morning, all right? Al Jazeera was making an interview with him in the afternoon, and he was speaking as if he's out of a 5-star hotel, as if nothing happened. Tell me about something that would prepare a person to reach to the stage where there was an assassination attempt on him a few hours ago, and he's smiling and speaking as if nothing has happened. And his wife, they made an interview with her in one statement. She said, "Me, my daughters, and my sons are ready to die fi sabilillah in any moment. We're ready." So the experiences that they are going through is the tarbiyah for them. These recruits, they went out and they studied with the Sahaba in the actual field. You know, by the way, ahkam of Islam, ahkam of fiqh were not revealed in a classroom. They were not revealed in a university. Most of the ahkam of fiqh were revealed within the jihad context. The ahkam of tayammum, when did the ahkam of tayammum come down? The Sahaba did not need tayammum in Medina. So when did the ahkam of tayammum come down? It came down in the context of fighting fi sabilillah. The ahkam of mut'ah, and when it was made banned, the ahkam of ghusl, the ahkam on and on and on. All of these ahkam of fiqh that are strictly dealing with the rituals came down in that context. Karamat, they all came down in that context. So we have a lot of misnomers, and one of the things that I hope we can achieve in talking about the Sahaba radiallahu anhu is to correct our perception, correct our worldview. What is right and what is wrong? I mean, if we would bring Khalid ibn Walid radiallahu anhu and have him attend some of these talks that are given by so-called scholars about the issues of jihad, he's going to consider this to be Islam of the sissies. He's not going to accept this. What would he think about it? Khalid ibn Walid, for him, it was very clear. Aslim taslam, otherwise we're going to fight you until you pay the jizya. And if we talk about if we get a chance, inshallah ta'ala, we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to give us the chance to talk about Umar ibn al-Khattab, these issues are going to become even clearer because of the long term that Umar ibn al-Khattab spent as the Khalifa of the Muslims. So, dear brothers and the sisters who are listening, first of all, any change in human life starts with an intellectual change. And then that is implemented into action. So if we want to fix our condition, we first of all have to fix our minds. The wrong information that is in our brains needs to be replaced by the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. Our view of the world, our view of our relationship with the other, our view of our relationship with our brothers is something that needs to be sorted out first. Our view of what our responsibility is towards the religion, what our responsibility is towards the establishing of the hukm of Allah Azza wa Jal. All of these are issues that need to be straightened out first before there can be any change in our lives. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. In the end, the victory will be of that for the muttaqeen.